Hi, beautiful Gemini. This is Mary Ellen coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your June 2018 Soul Tarot reading. And there are the cards. Look how beautiful that is. There's a gorgeous continuation of your unfolding that's been going on all year. We're going to do a little bit of review and then we're going to jump in. My spirit guides have asked me to start with the illustrations just so you can start absorbing the messages and kind of looking into the cards. For those of you who are new, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. I'm always excited to meet all the new people that are finding their way to this channel, and to all the returning subscribers and viewers, welcome back. Wonderful to be here with you as well. I'm very excited to go through the cards with you. For those of you who don't know, I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot cards developed by Caitlin Matthews, an amazingly beautiful deck. Speaks really well to me, and the spirit guides that come through to me love the deck, I think because of my heritage. Let's see, my website is moonrisecottagesoultarot.com. You can find that below the video. You can click on the icons that pop up on the video to subscribe. I would appreciate that, and as always, like and share and all those happy things. If you want a reading or you want to explore the many services that I offer, go to the website. Everything you need is right there. Okay, so let's jump in. This is a beautiful unfolding. I'm going to show you the cards for May, just as a reminder about where you've been coming and what your travel has been like. Okay, so before I do that, I want to show you something. Here's the card that's the spirit theme right over the top of the reading. All right. So when I sit and I do my meditation, I prepare to do the readings. A couple things happen. I have to sort of consciously get out of the way, and I ask for the messages. What is it that spirit would like to speak about? What's the most important topic? And this is the first card that comes out. I call it the spirit theme that gives light and meaning to the reading, that helps us understand the types of things that my spirit guides want to speak with you about. So this is the beautiful warrior of art, having emerged from the Sacred Passage tomb at Newgrange. So while I was prepping the reading, there was a lot of chatter coming through about that and about the type of emergence that you've had. And certainly you've had an amazing journey, Gemini. You are the star seed, Spirit always says. There's something about your particular energy set point that aligns you very deep out into the universe. So, that having been said, look at the card to the left of that. That is the Decider of Will. It is the very first card in the major arcana of this particular deck. It is beautiful male patterned energy. The Decider of Will is highly activated at the will center, has its heart, mind, intention on new growth, and holding the pine cone, a signification. There's the great god Dagda. Okay? So I'm going to read to you from the text about this. This is the card that indicates the way you stand in the month of June under the light of the theme of the warrior of art. It's a beautiful pairing, and the messaging is really deep this month. We've got a lot of planets transiting and stationing. I'm going to talk about that as we go forward. So let's just take a look at the Decider of Will. In a sense, Spirit is telling you a brand new beginning. And no surprise, of course. So yes, this is the great god Dagda of the Druids. The Druids were the keepers of tribal wisdom and were able to arbitrate, divine from, and consult the spirits of the universe to discover solutions. And by virtue of their attunement to the elements, rhythms, and patterns of the manifest world and to the spirit allies of the unseen world, the Druids were the mediators between the worlds. And that's what we've been talking about. It's been coming out of me in all different kinds of ways. Spirit is talking about last October. For those of you who are new and don't know, I went to Ireland on my own sacred journey to further my path, and your reading came out under a sacred tree in a passage that grows up out of a passage tomb. And so the message is Spirit hearkening back to that, just to remind you about this theme, about how deeply mystical your journey through this human experience truly is, if you allow yourself to really align with that. So Spirit is starting right off the top with that. So now, for a second, I just want to spend a little bit of time with you. Look at the cards for May. There they are. You see, the Decider of Will was a Spirit theme last month. And to the left of that, the Soul. The Spirit was sending you on a soul journey. And this month, you have emerged from your soul journey, standing on the sacred ground at Newgrange. And I loaded up, when I saw these cards come out, I thought, I gotta load this up. So here's what came out first. Okay, the Spirit guides were asking me to talk with you about the notion of alignment and alignment with the sacred realm and the way in which you travel so mystically deep. There is some alignment that is happening for you this month. Those are the sacred stones in front of Newgrange, and I wish I had all day to talk to you about that journey. It's a very powerful place, and it is aligned with the constellation Cygnus. There's something important about that for you this month. I will put some videos on the June playlist about the Cygnus constellation because of the way the messaging is coming out. So if you haven't been to Newgrange, it's a very controlled type of visit. And you have to go to a visitor center that is several miles away, and you have to, pay. It's not a lot. It's, you pay $10 or $15 or something, and you have to take a bus. You cannot go to this site by yourself. You have to go with a tour. So you get on the bus and you drive around the countryside and you come up to Newgrange, and this is what you see. It sits up on a hill. It's just an amazing place. And it is connected to the sky. And there's something about the constellation of Cygnus, Spirit's chattering on, about the constellations in general. So part of what these passage tombs were all about is sacred alignment. So we're going to talk more about that, but Spirit wanted me to show you those pictures, so there they are. And I think that's all I've loaded up because I figured it would take me too much time and put me into a course of conversation that really was better for me to focus on the cards. So once again, we're going to transition back to May. There you are in May. A lot of chatter about a new life, about destiny, about being part of a sacred lineage, about reaching the pinnacle of your experience. And the card, look at the bottom row. That's the human walk, for those of you who are new and don't know. So you were taking this journey to the pinnacle of your current situation in order to be transformed, because you were sent on a soul journey. And the second card in, that is the King of Art, the spiritual art of travel to and from the mystical realm. That is the Pathfinder and the remover of obstacles. And you can see the sun. There was some hearkening about the station of Uranus, which I didn't even have in my mind. When I was doing the May reading in April, it's not what I was thinking about, but clearly Spirit was talking with us about that. Uranus is coming to station in an earth sign, and it was right in the middle of May. It's stationed into Taurus, bringing the pure light of the sun and a lot of fire energy. Spirit's talking about the fiery power, the illuminating power of love. So there's been a lot of chatter coming through in every single reading. I'm going to touch on that I will do the cards first, and then I'm going to touch on my thoughts about that, about the symbolism of the things that have happened. So here we are. In May, the last card on the bottom row is the beautiful dialogue of art. And, oh no, pardon me, that's the dialogue of skill. So the dialogue of skill is about coming to a moment of reintegration with the self, with some sacred assistance and some loving help. On the right, we see Merlin in his blue garments. He's being transformed. He's getting some assistance from a dear friend. He developed some, what we would call PTSD, and he was just kind of wandering around aimlessly. And his friend came and put his arm around him and said, "Hey, Merlin, let's talk about your life. Let's talk about everything that has transformed you and what might be your next steps in order to reintegrate him so that he could go forward with his sacred mission." On the top row, the sacred realm, we see you in communication, dropping to your knees and coming into a form of courtship with the sacred realm and offering gifts and beginning a transformation of your own. And the next card is a notification of having been found. Actually, it's about a new life coming, but it is about a new life that transitioned into this realm. And then the baby in that story was lost and had to be refound. So it's really fascinating to me the way this has unfolded in the last 2 months. And then the last card on the top row is the sacred goddess, the seer, who sits in a crystal, Spirit's telling me a crystal chalice. Really, it's a crystal throne. And her ability was to see the lineage of kings. And she worked for the king of art, worked with him to help him understand how his sacred lineage would go forward. So if you think about all that messaging that was wound up through that reading, and you look at the cards on the bottom left and the bottom right, and you find the energy streaming upward through the center, through the soul journey, through your energy, you'll see the deeper meaning embedded in that reading. So here we are in June, and we're starting the month with the emergence of the warrior of art and looking directly into the decider of will. They are here together for a reason, Spirit says. They are working directly together with the energy for your benefit. I'm going to show you the cards. Look at that. That's very powerful. The warrior of art has no shoes, has no weapons, has no need of any of those things. The warrior of art has sacred energy, is able to use the energies that he has emerged from his journey, embodying that energy. And he works through his ability to understand the power of the heart chakra medicine. And you look directly at each other. So Spirit says one is a reflection of the other. It's amazing. It's an amazing pairing. So take a look at that. I'm going to read to you about the decider of will from the text. I think there's some important messaging there before we go forward. So the decider of will sets the soul on its journey. So again, you're being sent on the next phase of your soul journey. And if you look down on the bottom row, the very first card on the human walk, actually all three of those cards, each one is about journeying. And so you are going through the portal again. You have emerged. So there's a lot of deep traveling back and forth from the mystical realm, which is what the King of Art was here to talk with you about in the month of May. The stationing of Uranus into Taurus means that everyone here on this planet is going to be affected because it is working in conjunction with the station of Pluto in the first house of Capricorn. So now 2 earth signs have very powerful planets stationed in them. Each one brings shock and change and upheaval and complete transformation. And that is the destiny that most people are talking about for Earth and the inhabitants of this planet. So you're continuing your journey because you have the ability on an energetic plane of existence to travel so deeply in this way. The decider of will helps the soul on its journey, reminding the soul of its true intention as it steps upon the path of its destiny. And, drawing this card basically is asking you what is manifesting in your life at this moment, in these times. It's quite a beautiful unfolding of cards. So the first card on the human realm is the liberator. Of course. It's right. Spirit's saying these are all the different facets of your reading this month. Each one is a reflection of the other. It's looking through a little bit different lens. So, of course, the decider of will and the warrior of art step into your energy field, and it is a form of liberation. This is the liberator of devotion. It is feminine pattern energy. Clearly, it's about the portal. Once again, shamanistically carried. They believed that the soul was in the head, and so the shaman would carry the soul across the great divide through the feminine portal, which all souls must cross in order to arrive here. This is a very sacred figure. It's called a Sheila Nagi, and it is found in the places where the Celtic peoples live. No one knows their origins. There is no written language, no information about these figures. So it's all sort of conjecture on our part. If they all look very similar, the spirits tell me it's a notification in a certain way of the Sacred Hag. There's a little bit of that in there. Spirit says, go to the internet and look that up. Okay, so because again, I try to keep it to 30 minutes, I often fail, but there's a lot of information in this figure that you can find online to help you understand why it's here. A notification of the portal, having just emerged from the journey of last month. From your reintegration, you emerge whole and having the will to go forward, and the first thing that happens is you go through a portal. That's no small thing, Spirit says. And transitioning through that portal, a lot of knowledge is revealed to you. This is the revelation of knowledge. Because of the stationing of Uranus, and there it is, the pure energy of the sun, the uranium radiation of pure light, bringing you through this journey and helping you transform. That is an elk. The signification for elk is about having stamina for the long journey. And, a beautiful notification of coming across the waters of shift and change and reincarnation. This warrior lived a mystical life of his own, transitioning within a lifetime. He didn't go through a death process officially. He simply transformed because of the shift and changes in his energy. And that's what Spirit wants to speak with you about. This is what's happening this month. And you're going to feel it and you're going to experience it. Because of that shift and change, the very next moment, you are going to feel the energy inside of you, and it is going to bring to you sacred impulse and is a desire to travel further. So look at the far right column, vertical column of cards. We see the beautiful warrior of skill on the bottom and the warrior of art on top, and above that is the adventure of skill. Beautiful. Again, beautiful male patterned energy, very powerful, standing in the mystical realm, magic in his hands. He has the power and the means to go forward at his disposal. And what he does is he stands and awaits the sacred impulse from the universe. And then he jumps on his little horse. Spirit says his steed, very pure intentions. That's why the horse is white. And rides straight into the night, straight into the impulse. to have the adventure that the impulse brings to him on the sacred realm. It's a beautiful array of cards, given everything that's going on. So, if you don't know, I'm not an astrologer. I do look at sort of what the general aspects are sometimes, and I know that Jupiter and Neptune are having a beautiful trine all month. And at the end of the month, Mars is going retrograde. Chiron is hanging around, bringing healing. There's an enormous movement of energy and the shocking change that comes with the station of Uranus here in the earthly realm. So go and take a look at where that is stationed in your own chart, okay? Just so you can get a deeper understanding of how this is going to affect you. And then the bridge card, now we're looking at the far left column. The bridge card above the Liberator of Devotion, which is a major arcana card, is another major arcana card. So the rising of the energy is really profound. Pardon me. That is the beautiful dreamer of growth. Beautiful. Pardon me. This energy, the purpose of going back and forth in and out of the mystical realm is to bring forward clearly your destiny, but also your deep desire, I believe, on a soul level, to continue to have a very profound adventure. The dreamer of growth is bonded. Okay, look at the Spirit's interrupting me. So Spirit says, please look at the center horizontal row of cards. There we are. In traditional tarot, this would be the star card. It's about genius. It's about manifestation. Here in Soul Tarot, it is about having your human life bonded with your soul journey in a very profound way, able to look both ways across the divide, and rooted deeply into the spiritual realm. It's quite a powerful card to have at the bridge card that ties your human journey to your spirit walk. And we see this, the energy embodied in that notion, looking directly into the decider of will. So if you look at yourself in the middle as the decider, and you look at the aspects that are on either side looking directly into you, you know that this is a very powerful moment. So the first card above the dreamer of growth, I love seeing this. I'm very excited about this. I'll talk to you about it in a couple different ways. So look at that. One of my favorite cards. We haven't seen this since last year. Okay. That is the combat of skill. This incredible woman is the Sacred Hag. According to the mythology of the deck, she's covered with warts. She's a mystical illusion. And the story about her is that there was a king whose kingdom was running out of water. So he sent his warriors out, each one in a different direction, to go and find a new source for water. Each one of them came across this woman who controlled the water element. Okay, life energy, abundance, love. Spirit's talking about the flow of love energy. There is an illusion that has to be broken through here on the earth. It is part of what Uranus is helping us do, because it's bringing in the light of the sun and the fire and the power of love energy, awakening our heart chakras. So that is why we see the very first card over the top is the Warrior of Art, having emerged into this moment from a very sacred transition. The beautiful combat of skill, the warriors go out one by one. They come across this woman. They ask her for access to the water. She says, of course, I will give you access to the water. First, you have to give me a kiss. And two of the warriors shrink back and run away basically from her and say, never. You're too horrific. And then one just says, well, of course. He gets off his horse, he puts his arms around her in a very loving, respectful way and gives her a kiss, filled with love and gratitude. And of course, like all fairy tales, in that moment, she transforms into a beautiful young woman. And eventually, as the story unwinds, they become betrothed. The gentleman in the story, having been blessed with the power of the sacred feminine, rises to become the king of the land. So Spirit is talking with you about the impulse to look into the illusions and use the will, the power that you have to stand with the illusions of being in this world. Apply love energy in order that the chains of the illusions may be broken. So look at the bottom right-hand card, the warrior of skill, it is his mission, again, male pattern energy, to respond to sacred impulse. And that notion flows through the center of the reading upward toward the left, through your energy as the decider of will, delivered into the hands of the incredible goddess who is in her place guarding the outcome of love energy, which is all about flow, of course, and about the water element. It's very interesting to me. So we just came past the full moon. We're on our way. The moon is waning now toward the new moon. And so as you move into the sacred impulse toward the middle of June, you are going to be coming into the realm of the goddess of sovereignty. And it is her energy, her sacred feminine energy, that commands love to be applied in all difficult situations in order to hit that abundance may emerge that helps us break through the illusion. It's incredible to me. And standing next to her, another major arcana card. That is the sacred rememberer of lore. The rememberer of lore, there's the great God again. And I love that this is sacred male energy. It's about the transformation of the sacred male energy within you in order to rise and be complete into itself, Spirit says. In order to be able to meet the sacred feminine and have its own transformation, so that the flow of love energy through the stationing of Uranus can do its work here in this realm. It's a very exciting moment. The rememberer of lore puts the vibrational essence of sacred knowledge in the center place of existence. And again, sitting, if you will, right above the decider of will. Let me show you the cards again. Look at the center column, the vertical column. On the human realm, we see a revelation of knowledge coming through the light of the sun, coming across the waters, having come through the portal and emerged again. Transitioning through your energy as it rises through the reading, the decider of will is able to respond to the revelation of the knowledge that is coming into its being because of the moment. As that affects your soul journey, and your soul journey reflects what is happening on the earth, we see you in that moment as the rememberer of lore, the receptor and the transmitter, all in one being, Spirit says. And when you come into that place in your energy set point, as you transition through the energy patterns that are here with us, you then, of course, go on a great adventure. And it is an adventure of skill. So if you look at the right side column of cards vertically, again, we see the beautiful warrior of skill whose job it is to respond to sacred impulse, to go on a journey, to ride into the impulse in order to bring forward its destiny. Aligned with the warrior of art, which means the sacred impulse is about love energy, which is what this transit of Uranus is about for those of us on the earth. And of course, the energy rises and does exactly what it's meant to do. It goes on a grand adventure. Look at that. Powerful little mouse standing in a field of grain. Well fed, it has everything it needs, and it is incredibly eager to go on its adventure. A very skillful adventure in order to learn the things that are meant to be learned and develop the skills that are needed for this time as we go forward as a collective into our destiny. And the outcome card, I love it. I love that this is here. I was so grateful to see it come. There's the notation about Uranus. A great change is coming here on the earth. Look at the center row horizontally. That is a very beautiful, powerful message about the bringing forward of love energy and the mystical power to manifest and the will to manifest our growth and bring change to this realm forever because of the transit of Uranus. And there it is. And this is not small change. This is radical change. And you know, we've seen a lot of signs, right? There's volcanoes erupting. Uranus is here. Clearly working together with Pluto. This is a positive. Don't be afraid of this card. Please, I'm begging you. This is an incredible thing. So it is about complete and total change and transformation. Shocking things, of course, because it's Uranus, and I've got my own little shocking story to tell. You might have heard it if you had looked at some of the other readings that came out. There's a lot going on at Moonrise Cottage. I had to do some things that I vowed I would never do, but it's the pattern of the energy unfolding. And so I had to sort of, pull up my bootstraps and say, you know what? I'm going to be okay. I'm going through a process. Part of that process is to have some grief and some shock and awe in my own life, but I know I have to make the transition. That's what this is about. I was so happy to see this here for you, Gemini, because of the depth of the journey you've been on since I've been on YouTube. Every month you guys blow me away. So there's the beautiful changer of truth, another major arcana. So, we have your energy aligned with the major arcana of the deck. And there's the bowl being turned upside down, life being turned on its head with rapid shocking change in order to turn the spiral of destiny. So take a look at that in alignment with the other cards. And just take notice, if you will, at the fact there are 3 major arcana cards, actually 4, in the center of this reading. Look at the center horizontal row and then look at the center vertical row, and you will see how powerful the energy is. And Spirit's talking about that's the lightning bolt. With a bang this month, the energy comes in to beautiful, dreamy, mystical Gemini. And Spirit says, able to be in 2 places at once. It's part of why the dreamer of growth is there on the left side of the center row. It's really beautiful the way the cards are aligned and the type of messaging that is coming out for you in these moments in order to really have a direct conversation with you about the shift and change that we're going through, so that you will feel confident to go forward knowing that there is something really beautiful happening and that you indeed are part of the unfolding of the destiny because of the energy you carry and your will and the revelation of the things that you are coming to as a sacred being to help you, yourself, and all of Earth break through the illusions and begin to vibrate the sacred energy of the universe. We've talked about it. I've talked about it so much with you, the way in which your energy vibrates. So The changer of truth uses shock tactics to shake all pride, smugness, and other inessentials out of us and to bring into us humility. The changer of truth reveals interesting new shapes into which we can shift. Look at the center card on the bottom row. That's what I was talking about. It is about shape shifting in a very sacred way that brings the revelation of knowledge to you on the pure light of the sun, the Uranus energy, stationed now in an earth sign. And here we live in this realm, and it is affecting all of us. And for you, this is the type of journey that you are on. This has everything to do with the completion of a cycle, the alteration of the world as we know it, sometimes shocking and traumatic incidents, bringing old habits to become overthrown, the breakdown of that which no longer serves us, and routines related to those things are destroyed. This is about revelation and cleansing events. So, Gemini, as always, you're right in the center because you live out in the universe, as far as I can tell. And I'm going to try to find another photo that I can add on the fly. I've never tried to do this before, but let me see if I can do it because I want to remind you about something. The spirit's chattering about it in my ear, so I'm going to check it out, see if I can do this. It's just going to take me a minute. So if you would just look into the cards, I'm going to tell you the story of what's been going on at Moonrise Cottage in case you don't know, okay? So there has been, I've been coming here. Moonrise Cottage has been here for 18 years. And for a year or two before it came into being, I used to hike up here into the woods and look at this property, and I just felt so drawn here. And I would sit in the copse of these beautiful grandmother trees that lived here on this property that had been there. Oh, I think they're 200 years old. They're probably 80 or 90 feet tall. And I used to come and sit in these copse of trees and look at the pattern of the energy and communicate with the land and communicate with the trees in a really, oh gosh, I just an energy patterned way, I guess is the best way to say it. So with this energy pattern, I have been communicating and getting messages from the trees about the history of this place that became the home for Moonrise Cottage. And I never imagined, and I kind of took a vow that I would never cut the trees down. So what's been unfolding for me is there's a shift and change going on in my life, and I have decided that it's time, I've always known, to open Moonrise Cottage for people to come and have a ceremonial visit, a sacred visit, pardon me, and to maybe have a ceremony of their own if that's what feels like the right thing to them. So, in order to do that, I have to have more electricity. I live off the grid, and I have to bring the energy of the sun. It's really interesting that this is my issue, onto Moonrise Cottage. And the only way for me to do that is to cut down the trees because they're standing in the south portion of the property. And in the wintertime, they literally block the sun because the sun transitions so low in the sky. So here's the picture. It took me a minute. So, for me, that's a tragedy. And I've been in tears. I've been going through a horrible shock and grief because I knew it was time. I have to change. I have to be willing to move forward for the purposes of my own destiny. That's why I'm here. So here's the picture. I just want to show you this. Remember this from October? Do you remember that incredible tree? That is the place from which your reading emerged. I did your October reading, sitting, communicating with this tree, and it was literally glowing. I wish I had a better camera. I was a better photographer that is growing out of the side of the sacred passage tomb at Douth. So, Spirit's talking about the alignment of the passage tombs, talking about the alignment of all the planets this month and everything that's going on. Mars is going retrograde. That is going to allow us, some people think that makes you feel stuck. I think it's beautiful. It allows you to stand in your place and look at the place you're standing. For a couple of months, you are going to be working on the energy that we're seeing here. And certainly as the eclipse season comes forward, I'll have more to say, the more cards will come out. But Spirit just wanted me to make it known to you the energy of emergence, of coming out of the passage tomb. In order for sacred knowledge to be revealed to you, that is the energy that is streaming into the universe from that beautiful tree that grows up out of the passage tomb from which your reading came. It was the only reading that happened in communion with that tree, drawing energy in directly from the universe and transforming it. And here we see this message in your cards for June. Because of the station of Uranus, because of the Jupiter-Neptune trine, because Chiron is here, there's an amazing moment happening. So Gemini, as always, I'm so grateful for your love and accompaniment as I'm on my own journey. I look forward to hearing from you. So anyone who's willing or interested, please put some messages on the thread. I think I told you, but now I can't remember. My website is listed below the video in the information section. You can just click on it. And if I have time, I'm going to try to publish this today. I'll put some icons that'll pop up on the screen. You can just click on that to subscribe or go to the website if you want a reading. Or if you just want to be in touch with me, send me a message to the website, okay? So thank you, Gemini. Again, you're blowing my mind. I'm leaving you with the cards, and I'm just honored to be a witness to this journey that you're on. Thank you so very much.